Hey YouTube channel, I'm back. It's been I guess about a month since the last video there, working on the race car over at PD's. So you remember a bunch of videos back working on the Murano. So about a month back, that all went a bit sideways. The old Murano started overheating, transmission started slipping, everything was going bad with it. Getting to the point where I'm pulling my hair out with these Japanese cars, and they're just like plethora of sensors and everything, and didn't know where to start. So ended up connecting with buddy whose neighbor used to work for Nissan as a mechanic, and so he came over, we looked at it, did a few tests. It sure looked like head gasket. We did come up to the conclusion that I would change out the thermostat, because sometimes that can have similar kind of reaction of just instant overheating. It would sit there and idle, no problem, never overheat, and then you give it about 2500 on the old onion meter, and all of a sudden it's just boiling out of the reservoir. So figured cheap, I got one off of the Amazon, sent it out to New Zealand here. In New Zealand they wanted like 180 bucks for this thermostat because it comes as a whole housing and everything. Ended up getting one on Amazon, delivered in a week and a half for like 56 bucks New Zealand. So did that, threw it in, fixed the problem. Gonna flick that thing on because I'm sick of it. It was never the vehicle that I wanted to own, it was just a vehicle that I owned at the time to get me through the daily driver kind of thing. Didn't mind it, you know, it ran good, V6, lots of power, pretty thirsty on the fuel. So anyways, through this whole process and waiting for parts and not knowing if this thing was going to get fixed or if it was just going to be send it straight to the shredder, picked up a new vehicle, well, new to me. And I'll flick the camera around and bring your peepers in, do a little walk around on it. Picked this up down in Wellington, which is about a 6.5 hour drive back to where I live. And so really good. I had bought it from a dealer down there, so we did a virtual walkthrough. I never test drove the vehicle. You just walk through, started it up, no codes, asked, you know, sent me the service details on it, and so I knew what they'd all done to it, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, took the gamble, bought the unit, drove it back. So that's like a really good test drive because it's like 6.5 hours non-stop. I'll flick you around on this now. Yeah, I mean, it's 15 degrees today, it's overcast. It was raining a little bit earlier, but it just makes the paint sparkle. So that's what I got. 2002 Ford Explorer Limited. Hey, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. That's the button just down there somewhere. And check out our store, it's up and running. The store is in New Zealand dollars. Things will be shipped from here until we get the volumes up, and then I've got a guy in Canada that will make and ship for me there. So hey, the more you order, the easier and faster that's gonna get. And I've got a few of these Raglan black and white Rusty Bob's tees left. And hey, shameless plug, buy your hats, go to the website, it's at rustybobs.com, and yep, remember to comment down below if you think that what I purchased here is a bad choice, and if that's the case, I'm probably not going to respond. It's rolling on 22s, it's all straight, there's one dent right there, that's the only blemish on the body. It's an all aluminum body, so no rust and corrosion, which is good because the beach is just over those buildings there. Tires are all in good shape, and I actually went on the old interwebs here in New Zealand, and 22-inch rubber isn't actually that bad. I can get new rubber for like 145 bucks a tire. You can see, represent. If you want one of those, you can go to the website rustybobs.com. We can ship those out. I've also got smallish round ones. Proper tow hitch on here. A lot of the tow hitches in New Zealand are just solid welded. They're not with the receiver like that. That's American styles, right? I'll pop the old bonnet. hood, and we can take a gander of what's under there. I have ordered didn't have the fog lights on it here, so I've ordered those off of the Jungle website, and also I put in LED bulbs already because I drove back and it was nighttime half the way, and it was like shocking how bad those headlights were. So put in some LEDs, and that's all nice and bright now. Did a whole LED bulb replacement on the interior. So this is a limited edition of these guys, which I don't know how limited it was, but black on black interior, which is nice. Still has, you know, the light headliner, leather interiors, and it's a 7-seater. I know some of these I think came out in America as only a 5-seater, but all the ones that came here were 7-seaters. Huge cargo area. Underneath there is where the 2 back seats go in. It's got front and back AC and heat. It's all in really nice shape. There's a few little cosmetic blemishes which I didn't see in the photos, like this plastic faux look wood thing is cracked here, and on the other side you can see, I'll zoom in there, yeah, see it's cracked there. I got a plan to rectify that. I'll bring a video in on that later. Ended up, so I had a aftermarket stereo and I swapped it out with Alpine ILX 007, which I had from a previous vehicle in Canada, and that works great. Did a little custom install here on the USB port, and so that's nice there. All of the New Zealand Explorers, because the American ones and the Canadian ones had column shift, and they went to a console shift to do the swap-a-rooney here. There, I'll pop the old bonnet there. It's real clean and tidy. V8. Yeah, that's right. Everyone's going electric. Nuh-uh. V8 power all the way. That's the 4.6. That's in basically every cop car in North America since, like, what, 1989 or something like that. So that's a modular V8. That's a 2-valve, so I don't have to worry. The 3-valve, like 5.4, which I had in an F-150, they're notorious for cam phaser problems, and then it runs like crap. This one is only 2-valve, and it's not variable valve timing. So don't have to worry about that. Really decent motors. It's just a little baby 281, but man, it sounds really good. And these ones always had a problem with transmissions. What I've read and what I've everything on the old interwebs has said, if you get past 90,000 miles with your transmission, you're probably good for 250. So this one's got the factory transmission in it still. It's got 181,000 kilometers now. So I'm past that window, so I should be good with the trans for a while. But even still, I can get a used tested trans for this thing in New Zealand here for like 500 bucks. So whereas that Murano, the trans goes out on that's like $3,000. Independent rear suspension, which was a change. So this is the first generation of Explorer that was not based on the Ranger platform. It's still a frame chassis, but it is wider than a Ranger and longer, and that's the new geometry in the rear end with the independent is why they could go with the 7-seater. Fire it up there for you. So someone had put on a nice exhaust system. That's actually a safety feature, so people know that you're coming. But you can hear it, none of the ticking like you normally get with the Ford. There's a few, blemishes. This stuff typical, especially in New Zealand with the UV and stuff that we've got going here. This just kind of fades off and gets real bad. So I've actually got some matte black vinyl that's coming, and I'll do a quick video on that. It's super easy to apply. And then these sections here, you can get all sorts of different covers for these, like chrome and all that kind of BS, but we'll just go with the matte black on that. And then the few inside thingos, those trims and stuff, we'll do that all in matte black and just bring it all together. I'm happy with it. It sounds good, as you can hear it in the background, just burbling away there. And I tell you, people definitely look over and say, who is that redneck driving that thing? It's got like, it's just, the bald eagles pour out of the back of this thing. But to be fair, it actually gets the same fuel mileage as my V6 Murano, and that's just like driving a sewing machine. So super happy. It's got a nice big towing capacity, basically the biggest towing capacity you can run in New Zealand without getting a special class of vehicle, which is called a COF here. So it's a 3,500 kg towing capacity, and so going to be a perfect tow rig for Rusty Bob's down the road, camping, all that kind of stuff. Hey, it's just super comfortable. The family loves it, and we're super pleased with the purchase.